We finally have the entire story on what is going on with the SEC's appeal in the Ripple SEC case. And buckle up because this is absolutely insane. In this video, I want to be breaking down everything you need to know about what is going on with this appeal. Is this case over? Is this case still ongoing? We're going to break down everything you need to understand and what all the attorneys are saying about it. Like always, your support means so much to this channel. Thank you to everyone who takes the time to like these videos and subscribe to the channel. These two simple things really do help me out so much. Also, if you ever need a place to buy some XRP, make sure to check out my favorite exchange Uphold down in the description of this video. With that said, though, let's jump right into it, and I hope you guys enjoy the content. So guys, I want to start out this video with something real quick because this is absolutely insane, and I think it's going to get you pretty excited about RLUSD. So this dropped earlier today, and this actually happened at Swell, and in my opinion, this lets me know that RLUSD is going to be a massive success. Take a look at this. This was tweeted out by Vet earlier today, and what we learned from a Thinking Crypto channel interview with Brad Garlinghouse is that Ripple actually makes up close to 20% of the USDC minted at Circle. This is absolutely insane. This means that when it comes to the entire stablecoin market, Ripple is one of the biggest players. They are causing the demand for almost a quarter of Circle's stablecoin market. And they didn't even talk about Tether, so there could be even more volume flowing through Tether. This is absolutely phenomenal. This lets me know that massive institutions working with Ripple right now want access to stablecoins, and Ripple is making the market. Guys, this activity is going to come to RLUSD. That is the exact reason Ripple spun up RLUSD. And this is a massive slap in the face to anyone who thought RLUSD wouldn't be successful. This is exactly what I have been saying. RLUSD is going to be successful because Ripple created the product because they knew it was going to be successful. They knew the stablecoin demand was there. They knew their corporations they were working with needed this product. This is absolutely huge. It is fascinating to see. And guys, it shows that Ripple has a lot of institutions ready for this stablecoin. And I think if Ripple really is going to make this the most compliant stablecoin in the market, this right here should prove this product is going to be a home run. Now, I want to move on and talk about the SEC appeal because I know that is a big reason why a lot of you are tuning in right now. This entire thing is absolutely insane. I want to start off and let you know where things stand right now. The only thing we know at the moment in terms of the SEC's intention is that the SEC apparently still wants to appeal this case. Eleanor Terrett broke the news earlier today that according to a spokesperson at the SEC, the appeal is proceeding normally and documents will be filed publicly soon. So this is from the SEC. Now, the funny thing about this is nothing about this is normal because the SEC missed the deadline to file this appeal. We're going to talk about that process in depth, and I'm going to provide you proof that they did miss that deadline. But Brad Garlinghouse couldn't help to chime in here. He said proceeding normally for an agency that makes up their own rules as they go. And this is completely accurate because nothing about this is normal. Nothing about this makes any sense. And Neil actually came in with another hilarious comment here. He said their logic is consistent. Investment contracts don't require a contract. Court filings don't require a filing. So what everyone is pointing out here is that the SEC missed the deadline, and now they're trying to cover face here. The SEC realized that, oh, it turns out that was last night. Everything's proceeding normally here, guys. Don't worry, our filing's getting ready. But they missed the deadline. Like, the deadline was fully missed. So nothing about this is normal. It is insane to think that this is where we are with a federal agency. But I want to provide proof here that they did miss that deadline before we talk about any implications. So Sherry has been tracking this on X. She has been doing an outstanding job. And this is the proof that I think a lot of people need to see. So the SEC actually filed their notice of appealing on October 2nd. What we can see right here is the actual court filing. Notice of an appeal, October 2nd. And it says right here, Form C and Form D are due 14 days after October 2nd. Now, for a lot of people, this should be enough, right? October 2nd was the filing, and we have the court order right here. The documents are due in 14 days. This is 14 days. It's not business days. It doesn't matter if there's holidays. This is 14 days. So the 16th, which was last night, there was no filing last night. So that's why a lot of people said they missed it. Now, there was some debate about this. So Cherry actually made a calendar. What we can see is October 2nd was the day the SEC filed that appeal. We just looked at the date on the court document, and then she counted 14 days. October 16th was last night. Now, let's take a look at the actual language here, because this is also very interesting. Once you have filed your notice of appeal, it says right here, you only have 14 days in which you must complete the following steps. So in that 14-day period, you absolutely need to complete these steps. These requirements are due, it says right here, within 14 days or your appeal will be dismissed. So the SEC did not file that order within 14 days, and therefore people are wondering, does that mean this is dismissed? Now, the big false premise going around right now that is super important to understand is a lot of people are looking at this other document, right? This other document right here that says October 4th, 14 days since October 4th, and that would put it at October 18th. But this does not have to do with the appeal. This is another filing. This is a docketing notice. It's completely different from the appeal. So anyone saying it's October 18th is wrong. In terms of people who have acknowledged that is wrong, it's Jeremy Hogan, it's Sherry, it's Stuart Alderati, it's David Schwartz. It is all the attorneys on X are all saying this was due last night, including Meta Law Man. So every single person out there thinks this thing was due last night. So the SEC missed a deadline, and now they're coming out and saying everything's perfectly normal. It's everything but normal, which makes that whole response even funnier. And what we can see is, according to the court order, the only way the SEC should be able to now come back and file their appeal like they should have last night would be under exceptional circumstances. So the SEC needs to come up with some exceptional circumstance why they did not file that appeal last night. Now, this is where it gets tricky. In my opinion, it's the SEC. The court's just going to say, what the heck is wrong with you? Doesn't matter. You're all good. So I think the SEC is still going to file this, and I think the court's going to let it through. Now, this is annoying because if you or I were laid on an appeal, then our case would be dropped and we would be dead in the water. The SEC is the SEC, and as Brad Garlinghouse said, they make up the rules as they go, and therefore, if they feel like coming in late, I unfortunately think the court is going to let them come in late here. I don't think the court is going to dismiss this appeal. They don't have to. It's specifically stated in the language that the SEC can come in late and it doesn't have to be dismissed. The court can use their discretion. And I think because it is the SEC, the court's going to use their discretion and let them come in late. I don't think it's fair. It's insane. It's dumb. But every indication is that as of now, the SEC still plans on appealing this. Now, I was holding out hope that something else was going on here. I was holding out hope that there was a settlement between Ripple and the SEC. And the reason for that is because to file the appeal, for the SEC to file the appeal, probably took like 5 minutes. But Ripple didn't want to go through an appeal, right? Ripple wants this case over. They want to start working with customers in the United States. They want this thing behind us. So all the SEC had to do was file an appeal to ultimately drag Ripple into the room to start talking settlement. And if the SEC could get another $100 million off of dragging Ripple through the threat of a appeal in the Second Circuit, Ripple might take that. And if it only took 5 minutes of the SEC's time to draft up this appeal, why not, right? What are you really losing? So the SEC was always incentivized to file this appeal. And what I thought last night was maybe the reason we didn't get this filing was because there was some kind of settlement behind the scenes. But now the SEC is literally admitting, no, we're just incompetent to a certain degree. We just forgot the date. So what shakes out now is going to be interesting. In my opinion, where we stand now is the SEC accidentally somehow forgot the appeal date. It's hard to even say that with a straight face, but that's apparently what we're being told. The SEC just forgot to appeal this thing. And now what we're waiting is to see that appeal come through. Once the appeal comes through, we get to see what the SEC is appealing, but then it comes down to what the court is going to say about this. Is the court going to say, oh, you're the SEC, you can be late. We don't care. You're the SEC. You're all good. You can be late. Or is the court going to say, you know what? You missed this. You're dead in the water. That's what's going to be the interesting thing here. I don't think the court's going to do that. I don't want anyone to get their expectations up for the court to do that. I don't think that's a realistic scenario. I think the SEC is going to be allowed to appeal this thing, and it's annoying that this is what the SEC is allowed to do, but I think this is what they are allowed to do. I think they are going to get away with this. With that said, I want to make one more thing clear. I don't think this necessarily means that this case is going to go the distance. I still think there is a very good chance that this thing gets settled. Not under Gary Gensler, but by whoever replaces Gary Gensler. As I stated earlier, look, this case is a home run for a settlement. The SEC gets a lot of money, Ripple gets out of here. I don't think either of them want this appeal to go through. I think a settlement can clean up a lot of these issues. And I think a new SEC chair would be happy to get past a lot of the atrocities that happened under the current administration. So where this stands right now is I do believe we are going to see an appeal. I do think the judge is going to let that appeal go through. And I believe we'll probably see that happening tonight or tomorrow. If it happens tomorrow, it's even funnier because now we're 2 days late. And it's going to be interesting to see what the court even has to say about this. Because it is a slap in the face to the entire system. They're literally just saying, hey, we'll do things when we feel like it. And when they get called out for it, they're like, oh, well, we're the SEC. We'll follow whatever rules we want. Typical by the agency. That's where we stand right now. Ultimately, I don't think it matters. I talked about earlier in this video, RLUSD, ton of new amendments hitting, a ton of new, very exciting things happening on the XRP ledger. I couldn't be more excited. This is a short-term speed bump. And the most exciting and most important thing about all of this, that at the end of the day, Ripple wins, XRP is not a security, and I believe XRP is going to be one of the most important tokens in the United States and the rest of the world. Like always, guys, thank you so much for coming, and for now, Mickle out.